Ladies and gentlemen, hello Kenyans, we don't have a country here and the system is rotten. I want you to listen to what the controller of budget revealed yesterday when he appeared before the bipartisan talks team in the Bomas of Kenya.
We have suffered a long time from poor forecasting, and this is an area, please, I would ask the committee to talk to the National Treasury on a very serious note. The exaggerations are in the National Treasury, and let me just give one example. When I was doing the budget for consolidated fund services, this is where my salary is paid from. I found out that my salary was budgeted at 3 times what I'm paid. What? I am the only state officer in my institution. So there's nothing like confusion there. I'm all alone. So I asked them, why is the budget showing 3 times what my annual salary is? And it was like that for all the state officers.
What was the answer, madam?
Chairman, I have not received the answer to date.
What? 3 times. And that is what she's saying there, that she's the only state officer in that office of control of budget, and it's not just about her. Other state officers in the book, their salary is multiplied by 3. So let's try to reason. If a president, a deputy, and some waziris are earning 1 million, so is it multiplied by 3? Now, does it just apply to the control of budget officer only? And of course, what Nyakango is not saying is that which offices. Yani, we are almost breaking the back of Kenyans with exorbitant taxes, while the state officers, their salaries are multiplied by 3. I know we need to be serious as a country. Sometimes there's some things we need to be serious. The system is rotten. And this and that statement by Nyakango confirms something I have been insisting in this bold podcast. We don't have a problem of collection. We have a problem of expenditure. It doesn't matter whether we are going to borrow or we are going to collect locally. But if we're still paying salaries 3 times and on paper while people are just receiving their monthly salary as normal, then it seems there is a problem. Where does the rest go? I want you to listen to the second part of that interview, and you will really know that we have a bigger problem in the country. Before you listen to that other second part, I am reminding you about our wheelchair challenge. We are purchasing wheelchairs for these children here. These are children with autism and cerebral palsy. Of course, they're in urgent need of wheelchair, and I'm just so glad that quite a number of us are responding and coming. Thank you, Nancy. And by the way, I can tell you that I just picked 5 for the start because the challenge is big. Now, those who can still buy, you can still buy and put under and put your name in it, and it will be given out. So that's why we are doing 100 bob challenge towards the purchase of that. I want to believe that by the weekend, we'll be able to have achieved the target. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this for the record straight. We have a problem. Listen to this.
We have seen high taxation leading to high prices and therefore leading to inflation. So sometimes we do not link the high taxation to the high prices and therefore to the capital flight. And I want to give just one example. which will show us the direction in which we are moving. Park fees. This morning, in one of the groups that I am in, I saw the ladies saying, why would I pay $200 to enter the park when I can see the same animals from the Tanzanian side by paying very little? They are back home. You'll find your family hungry, and you'll find all those other things. So I don't really need to gainsay this. I did a report to the committee on public debt, and they told me, please check on the loans which we have taken recently in 2022. Tell us if we can link them with a project. They were shocked. We could not. We found some ambiguous definitions of the loans, and the Treasury could not tell us what really we were going to do with those loans. So unless we wake up and link our borrowing to actual economic activity, will not come out of this hole. That I can say without fear of contradiction. That every once in a while, we will find this item which is not budgeted for, or for which the budget is insufficient, and then we'll need to fall back on Article 223. But you will find people are making applications to employ, people are making applications to repair vehicles, to refurbish buildings. Really, those are some of the items that should not belong to Article 223. There are actually a lot of dollars which are being hidden away in the economy, because then our currency is depreciating all the time. Now, I'm just wondering, a lot of these dollars that we get come from the diaspora. Now, I'm effectively informed, and I think rightly so, that right now there are a lot of panya routes through which dollars come in. I mean that panya routes in the sense that people have devised methods where dollars can be repatriated, say, to South Africa, and then the money finds its way to Kenya in some way, so that it evades the banking system. So if it doesn't go through the banking system, then you may not catch up with it. Housing levy, in terms of the housing plans and how this was initially stopped, and what was intended for offtake then never took off. Allow me to speak like an ordinary citizen in this one. The citizens have lost trust. Now, what happens if every time you speak to someone, they do not keep their word? I think you will not be in a position to trust them the next time they speak. Why I'm saying this is that I keep my ears open a lot of times when people are arguing, my friends on the golf course and all that, and I hear them say, who tells you we'll get these houses? So that lack of trust is making people not to trust the process. It is a very noble idea, and it is supposed to help the citizens. It is supposed to create jobs. It is even supposed to create, all those nice things. But how can we work on improving the trust of the citizens? This is a bit abstract. I don't know how we can even measure the trust, but I'm talking from personal experience because I've been hearing what people are saying on the WhatsApps, on Facebook. Just listen to what the people are saying. We have suffered a long time from poor forecasting, and this is an area, please, I would ask the committee to talk to the National Treasury on a very serious note. The exaggerations are in the National Treasury, and let me just give one example. When I was doing the budget for consolidated fund services. This is where my salary is paid from. I found out that my salary was budgeted at 3 times what I'm paid. Wow. I am the only state officer in my institution. So there's nothing like confusion there. I'm all alone. So I asked them, why is the budget showing 3 times what my annual salary is? And it was like that for all the state officers.
What was the answer, madam?
Chairman, I have not received the answer to date.
So, I want to draw my political analysis from that soundbite by Nyakango. He has spoken about many issues there. And my takeaway, I have some 4 takeaways from that speech. In fact, the boldness by state officers to call out the administration ills is actually commendable. And it is the right direction to go. It started yesterday. We saw Mutua saying, enough is enough. This is wrong, he said. Now today, or yesterday, again, Nyakango, when appearing before the bipartisan talks team, is saying, we are not going to come out of the hole if we continue doing these things. And there are these 4 political interpretations I want us to pick from there. The first one here is, the taxation regime is futile. And when he's giving an example of Masai Mara Game Park, we have tripled the entry fees in Masai Mara. The park fees, we have tripled. Even the one in Nairobi, I think, has been doubled, the Nairobi National Park. And a strategy, or rather a policy that is being floated to help us increase the taxes is not really converting to the same, because a visitor will choose Tanzania over Kenya. It did not shoot in the region, it's only Kenya. If people have an understanding that park fees in Kenya is 3 times Tanzania, while through Tanzania you can still access the Masai Mara National Park, then what does it mean? That we are losing to Tanzania. And indeed, even Standard ran that story, that our taxation regime is actually futile, as much as we believe that it's supposed to give us the money. Number 2, there is this revelation, the second revelation I've realized from that soundbite is this. The dollar crunch is the biggest black market syndicate in Kenya. I listened to that and I remember a story that has been told about some dollars arrested, caught in the airport, heading to South Africa or something. Now, from what she's saying, it's actually thriving in a black market. So you want to ask, you may just want to know, if they're coming through the port, or not through the port, if they're coming through even either the port or the airport, whichever way, don't we have the customs? Don't we have the enforcement officers that are supposed to nab these consignments, the dollar consignments? How do the dollar consignments leak? How do the whole enterprise thrive with the intelligence we have in this country, with the enforcement officers, with the investigation officers, and the way we try to track? It tells you something, that if, like now under the UK, under the Dubai dollar deal, there's some challenges that are coming up because we cannot be able to pay up. We cannot be able to achieve the target. The banks are not able to raise the dollars needed to pay the oil for the oil deal. And of course, I'll look at that at some point. So we have a dollar challenge, and it's depreciating because of lack of it. From what Nyakango is saying, those panya routes, it's the government that's supposed to fill those panya routes. Number 3, Lack of transparency in the debts is the modern conduit of corruption. If we cannot account, in fact, from what she's saying, the amount, you just see the amount borrowed and they're just called. The loans are just labeled like B loan, C loan, Z loan, while it is not directly this loan is going to which ministry. But I can tell you why. The reason why they're not labeled, because according to our policy, we are supposed to borrow on need analysis, on need basis, and that is why borrowing should be on development. We should not borrow to pay salaries. That's not what our policy says. Our policy here is, if we are building a road, we should borrow and that money should go directly to that road. Or if you are constructing a hospital, that money should go directly to that project. But that has not been our borrowing. We borrow, bring together, just like the way she's saying, like Fuliza, then people start parting with the money. So it also shows that our borrowing, our debts, is the conduit of corruption. Number 3, and this one Ruto should realize, even his insiders have the deficit on that bottom-up economic model. Nyakango is the controller of budget. The controller of budget works with the Auditor General and the Treasury. These are the nerve of government. This is the nuclear of government. And if you listen to that interview, she's telling you that we cannot get out of the hole. In fact, we are not close to getting out of that hole. She's so bold about it. And she's saying the truth. In fact, this is what Ruto needs. Ruto needs 10 of these Nyakangos. He does not need the people that say, Mheshimiwa, His Excellency Sir, His Excellency Sir. You don't need the His Excellency Sir team. You need people that will come boldly and tell you, this is not going to work. And if you continue this way, there is nothing going to change. So when Uhuru said we are losing 2 billion in a day, Uhuru was not lying, guys. Uhuru was not lying. I believe we are losing it. I also believe so. I believe what Uhuru said. Now, 2 questions that I think must be answered. And if we can answer these questions, this is our problem rests. If you can answer these questions. Before that, allow me to introduce to you the Uzuri Coastal Apartment. It's the best apartment based in the Sultan Palace in the northern part of the coast. If you're coming to the country during this festive season and you're looking at a place, you are looking for a place you can settle and relax, then you need a 2-bedroom Airbnb based in the coast. It's ideal both for family and individuals. You just need a place you can just relax, have a very close view of the beach, and you can also enjoy other amenities. And so that's why you are not going to be bored. There is water bus where children can play. There is also swimming pool in the same compound. There is pool table. So if you like playing pool, you know, like taking it easy, you can still find a place to go there and do your play your pool table, do your budget, because there is a mini-mart in the same compound. And I can tell you that that place is the best place you need to book. So contact them there. At a minimum of 12,000, you'll spend your weekend in the coast. Thank you. Now, 2 questions that I needed to remind you. The first question is this. Despite of these bold revelations, who will come out to fight corruption? Because all those Nyakangwa said narrows down to one word: graft. Corruption. Those are just corruption. The taxation, the fact that we are not clear on our debts, the fact that dollar is being smuggled in the country, the dollar smuggling, the point of even the hustler, the housing fund, you know, the fact that no one is even looking at them, the housing fund that people, it borders down to corruption, and people don't feel. So the question here is, who is going to fight corruption? Because Ruto is not going to. And sisi hatuna uwezo, actually said. Number 3, is William Ruto aware of all this? I guess yes. Let's meet in the next podcast, ladies and gentlemen. On this one, I am shocked if you are paying salaries mara tatu. Kenya is rotten.